The fourth thing you need to know for algebra is to simplify and solve ratios and proportions. So let's talk about what a ratio is. A ratio is just a comparison of two quantities. It can be written in fraction notation, like 14/20. When simplifying ratios, you must know the greatest common factor, and you divide each part of the ratio by that greatest common factor. So for example, if I have 18/45, my greatest common factor is 9, so I divide each part by 9 and I get 2/5. The same is done for 8/24. The greatest common factor is 8, so I divide both parts by 8 and I get 1/3. What is a proportion? Well, a proportion says that two ratios are equal. So I might say 2/5 is equal to 4/10. These ratios are equal, so they are in proportion to one another. 2/5 is equal to 4/10. Now, how can we use a proportion to solve a problem? Say we want to redraw the picture to the right, but make it 2/3 the size of the original. You measure from the bottom of the face to the top and find it to be 12 inches tall. So, to determine how tall the new face should be, you should set up a proportion. I know that I want it to be 2/3 the size of the original. So, this is 2/3, and I don't know what size the next one will be out of my whole 12. So, what you want to do is cross multiply the numbers that are diagonal from each other and divide by the number left over. So 2 times 12 is 24, and then divide by the number left over, which is 3. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. So the face should be 8 inches tall in the picture you are drawing. Now, solving proportions to find a percent is always this setup. It's part over whole is equal to percent over 100. So, what is $12 as a percent of $80? So I want part over whole, so that's the part is 12. Percent, it says what is the percent? So the percent is the unknown, and the 80 is my whole. So 12/80 is equal to what over 100? Again, I'm going to cross multiply, just like I did with the proportion. So I'm going to cross multiply 12 times 100 and divide by 80, and I get 15. So 12 is 15% of 80. Now we're going to use solving proportions to find a length. This time we're going to set it up as side 1 over side 2 is equal to side corresponding to side 1 over side corresponding to side 2. So for example, we're going to find the height of the first triangle. So here we have side 1, the height, over side 2, 2.9, and that's equal to the side corresponding to side 1, so the same side on the other triangle, which is 2.4, over the side corresponding to side 2 on the other triangle, which is 1.3. We're going to use the exact same steps for solving a proportion. We're going to cross multiply the numbers that are diagonal from each other and then divide by the number left over. So 2.9 times 2.4 is 6.96. Then we're going to divide by 1.3 to get 5.4. So the height of the first triangle is 5.4. So in summary, a ratio is a comparison between two quantities. To simplify a ratio, you divide both quantities by the greatest common factor. A proportion is two equal ratios. We can set up proportions to solve missing parts of things that are in proportion to one another. You can solve a proportion by cross-multiplying the numbers that are diagonal to each other and then divide by the number left over.